All right. What's going on YouTube? What's going on TikTok? What's going on Instagram? It's been a little minute. It's been a little minute and it might be a little minute again. So I hope y'all catch me when y'all catch me because it's what it is. What's going on Instagram? I see y'all hopping on YouTube. What is going on? I see you guys hopping on too. TikTok. It might be a fun little night here. I'm doing well. Yummy. Pause. I'm doing well. Just started PT school. Seems super easy so far. That's good to hear. Office space, is that just part-time? Oh, yes. I'm just slowly moving into it. I'm slowly building it up. I'm in no rush. This is for the long haul. This is for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years of my life. So it's not like it would be nice to have 50 patients by tomorrow in that office, but no, I'm just starting. I'm literally just starting. Instagram, what's up? What's up? In a semester from graduating and wanting to apply to PTA school, what's the first step to getting hours for applying to PTA school? Just go to a clinic or hospital and ask, what is your policy? How do I sign up for hours? I'm a student, I need hours. What's the best way or who's the best person to talk to about me getting hours? Do you offer hours? What's the best procedure to proceed with to get hours? Just ask, go in person and ask. So that's really it. Hold on, there we go. Yeah, we just gonna chill tonight. We just chilling. I haven't been on live with you guys in a while, so I wanted to give you guys some love. We got some new people who followed us on Instagram recently. So yeah. I'm going into PTA school next semester. Hopefully you pass your board exam. Okay, cool. Top 26 seats. Okay. The patients slowly come in. That's good to hear. Any video games? I haven't played video games in so long. It'd be nice to play some video games, but I haven't. Maybe I should make a Twitch channel and stream. Should I stream video games and answer pre-PT questions? If y'all gonna watch it, I'll do it. But don't make me put all this work into it and it's ghosts. Don't make me do it. I will do it if that's what you guys want to see, and that's what's up. But I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of work for me. I got a lot of stuff to do. Will it be worth it? If y'all make it worth it for me, I'll look into it. But if not, I'm good with what I'm doing. I got enough on my plate. Instagram, what's up? People hopping in. If y'all got questions, here we go. How do you get hours documented officially? You download a observation hours form. Just type in PTCast observation hours form into Google. You'll find a couple, and they can sign off on that sheet. Or you can send your sheet or send your verification information through the PTCast portal when you are applying. I recommend having the signed sheet in person. It's a lot easier. What do you think about the Army Baylor program? I think it's fine. I have no problems with it. I haven't heard anything bad about it. So I think it's fine. If you have any more specific questions, let me know. But what do I think about it? I think it's fine. Probably more viewers on Kick. Okay, I'll look into it. Thoughts on occupational therapy? I think it's good. I think it's fine. I have no problems with it. I think it's cool. If you have any specific questions about OT, then I'm not an OT, but I can answer as much as I can. But yeah, it's fine. I have no problems with it. Book recommendations for business/PT. Well, it'd really be business recommendation books because physical therapy, if you're opening a PT practice, it's business. And the product just happens to be physical therapy, right? Business books, $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozy, $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy. There's so much. Where do I start? I start with the Book of Hard Knocks, honestly. To keep it real, to keep it 100, I start with the Book of Hard Knocks and start trying to sell people something. So if you're not a physical therapist right now, you can't sell physical therapy as a physical therapist. But do you have any Have you have any experience selling stuff? So if that's what you're talking about, that's what I recommend. Start selling, because that'll teach you more than any book could really teach you. Starting PT school in August. Any training tools I recommend? I recommend our study code that I created for you guys to learn how you best learn, so that when you get to physical therapy school, you are off to the races and you can handle any information being thrown at you. Because there's no point of trying to watch some YouTube videos or trying to read a goniometer or trying to understand ultrasound when they're going to teach you that anyways. You need to be able to have the skill set and study strategies to input that information and recall the information, because they're going to teach it to you. Why learn it? I understand the concept of trying to get ahead, but they're going to brainwash you with that for the next 3 years. So why learn it beforehand when you should start learning how you best learn? So I recommend our study code. If anybody's seriously interested in it, send me a DM. I'll send you the link. Their X book. Do you know who that is? I'm not sure. I might have missed that. Their X book. Do I recommend any Their X books? I do not. I don't. I think I bought 2 books in physical therapy school. So no, I don't have any Their X books to recommend. Do you know which second biology class is most widely accepted? It would be general biology. Any class that is 4 credits or more. It might have different names at the school you're going to, but it would be general biology. 4 credits or more. They might call it foundations of biology. They might call it biology studies, but whichever one at your school is the general biology, not zoology, not microbiology, not introduction to biology. That's 1 credit. No. General biology, 4 credits or more. That would be the one. Is combining PT and athletic training a good idea? That depends what you're trying to do. It definitely could be a good idea, but it depends what you want to do. If you're working with vertigo patients and patients 85 and older, it's not a good idea, right? So it all depends on what you're going to do. What do you think of neuroscience as an undergrad degree before PT? If you can handle neuroscience, by all means, it's your degree that you're paying for. So if you want to do neuroscience, go ahead and do neuroscience. However, it's not going to make you look better than you think you are. That's really what you're asking. So they're not going to see that you have a neuroscience bachelor's degree, but you have a 3.1 GPA and say, oh, but you have a neuroscience degree. They do not care. I am sorry. I wish they did, because the same thing happened to me. You're better off getting a Frisbee golf degree and getting straight A's in all those classes and the prerequisites than struggling with your neuroscience degree and getting straight C's, thinking it'll help you get into PT school. So if you want a neuroscience degree, it's your money, it's your time, by all means, get it. But if you're getting it just to think you're going to look better, take something easier. How many years after your bachelor's? Physical therapy school is 2 to 3 years, depending on the school you go to. Is kinesiology a good major for PT? Yeah, it's fine. It has a lot of the prereqs in it, so it's fine. What are some jobs I recommend for students to participate in to better prepare for PT school? Any job that is customer service focused. Because as a physical therapist, you are literally doing customer service. Well, most things in healthcare, if not all, you're doing customer service. The customer is the patient. The service is physical therapy. You are the physical therapist providing the physical therapy. You are doing customer service. So anything customer service related, from doing oil changes to working at Starbucks, to being a CNA, to being a PT tech, to being a referee, to having an online platform. This is customer service, kind of. Well, this is more lead generation marketing, but anything customer service related. That's what I recommend. Oh, let's see. Your PT videos always start with what looks like palpation around the hip. Can I elaborate? Sure. So my treatment style now is based off the 180 system. You can go follow him on Instagram. And we're taught to start with the lower extremities unless like there's a cervical problem. Some of my shoulder patients, you'll see I start with like the lats and some other stuff. But the videos you've probably seen, it was low back, hip, knee, ankle, and stuff like that. So I start with the lower extremities. And if I see any, to keep it simple, strength deficits, I start with what's called the rectus femoris. It's one of the quads. Then based on that, I work my way around the leg and the hip and the calf and the ankle based on how they respond to my strength test. So I'm trying not to get too complicated, but basically why I start with the hip is usually because I see, or the hip and the leg. You see me start around the leg, right? It's usually because that's where I see the problems at when I screen them and when I do the strength test, to keep it simple. So that's why I do it. So let me know if that makes sense. I'm trying not to go too deep and get too complicated because I could and just talk over your heads, but it's not necessary. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for joining in, Fabian. Let me check YouTube. What's going on? I am not married. I will say that. I'll keep it at that. But thanks for joining, C. Marie. I recognize your name. Were you on TikTok more before? I recognize your name. I can't see the avatar though. What about massage therapists? I think they're fine. What about massage? I think it's fine. If that's what you want to do, go for it. No problems with massage. What are some good topics to expose myself to as a sophomore in college that would better prepare me for PT school and or a career? So I'd go anything career based with physical therapy. If you're interested in some topics that'll help you prepare for PT, you can go like the clinical route, you can go the anatomy route. Nothing wrong with that, right? But right now in your life stage, you're trying to choose a career. And when you get to PT school, they will take care of all the clinical anatomy stuff. Your prereqs will take care of all that, right? But that's the interesting stuff to learn. So go learn that. I understand because I was there. I was excited about it. But what's more important for you right now is the career stuff. So I'd research and look up and listen to and watch as many answers to questions about the career in physical therapy as possible. You guys know how to work the internet, podcasts, blogs, TikToks, whatever it is, my live streams, I don't care. You need to learn about the career of PT so that you're choosing the right career for you. So that's what I'd lean more towards. Which PT field were you most interested in before than after PT school? It was the same. It was outpatient orthopedics. So before PT school, before getting accepted, I wanted to be an outpatient PT. After PT school, I still wanted to be an outpatient PT. So it was the same. It was the same. I just saw your page. How are you so successful? Your office looks nice. Thank you. I love my I was there today as well. I love my office more and more every time I go. I'm so excited about it. I really like it. How am I so successful? I don't think I'm successful. That's the first thing. That's probably why you think I'm so successful. I don't think I'm successful. I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of stuff to still fix. I'm still not where I want to be, right? But I guess if I look back and think about it, compared to where I was as a pre-PT, I am. So I'm very grateful for that as well. I don't take that for granted at all. How am I so successful? I don't know. That's a good question. I work a lot. I think I have the answer for you. I listen to people who are smarter than me and older than me and wiser than me, and I listen to their mistakes and their successes, I guess you can say. I always don't make the best decisions, but I think I've made a lot of right decisions based on what they told me. So I think I'm successful because other people have helped me, whether physically, support-wise, wisdom-wise, just words of encouragement, whatever. I haven't done anything by myself. I don't do nothing by myself. I'm not going to stress myself out like that. I do a lot, but like I always have some sort of help, some sort of support, some sort of encouraging word, some sort of something. Joseph is my business partner. You guys know that. I don't do anything by myself. So I hope that answers the question. That's a good question, though. You're welcome. You're welcome. Do you think all prospective PTs should be building a social media presence? Coming from my military federal jobs, that's usually been advised against those in those fields. So it's hard for me to speak on the military. I've never been in it. So I'll do whatever they're telling you to do. I don't want to get you in trouble. And do you think all prospective PTs should build a social media presence? I don't think so. I don't think so because it's a lot more work than you think it is. I can tell you that 1,000%. It's not just posting a Canva image. It's not just posting a video of exercises. Um, you could pop off and go viral with 1 to 3 videos, but it's a lot more than that. And that's why I'm saying I don't think everybody should do it because depending on your goals, it's not necessary. If you just want to do it for fun, have at it. But it's not necessary for everyone depending on what they want to do. But if you have more details to those questions that you want me to dive deeper into, go ahead and ask. But that's my answer for now. Good question. How important is the GRE when applying? I did not do so well, but I have everything else very well. How important is it? If they want the GRE, if they require it, it's very important. It's very important. Not TikTok, but I've caught some of your lives on here. Okay, it's been C. Marie. It's been YouTube. Okay, gotcha. Because I knew I recognized your name from somewhere. I swear I recognized your name. Cool. Well, welcome back on YouTube. Good to see you. Let's see. Where did I leave off? How important is the GRE? If they require it, it's important. I'll keep it at that. It's important. So if you need to retake it, I know it sucks, but retake it if you need to. I want to be a pediatric PT, but some people say, where is it? But some people say it's hard to go into peds right after PT school. Any tips? It's hard to go into anything after PT school. So do what you want. It's you paid. Who is this? Trina, girl, you paid for this degree. If you want to go into peds, you go into peds. F what everybody else says. I don't care how hard or how easy they say it is. You paid for your PT license. You paid for PT school. Will it might be difficult? Maybe. But everything else is going to be difficult. F. No. You do what you want to do. Forget that. Don't go into peds because it's hard. So, girl, you go do what you want to do with your license. Just starting my pediatric PTA job. I've never been more in love with the job. There you go. There you go, Trina. Go do what you need to do. Is 6 figures attainable in PT? Yeah, it definitely is. Depends on the setting and the location and the specialty. But yeah, you can make 6 figures in PT. 6 figures is not as elusive as it once was, especially because of inflation. Would you ever come talk at the University of Maryland? I'd love to see you come here. Sure, if they pay for my flight and they pay my rate, whatever that will be, sure, I'd come out there. Definitely. Hook it up. Let whoever's in charge know that I will do it if it works out and they get to contact us. Sure. Ways to prepare for the GRE. Take a practice test or some type of assessment to see where your weak points are so you can improve your weak points. Don't just study everything. Focus the majority of your time and attention on the weak points. YouTube, what's up? What's up? Got my associates in liberal arts, now massage therapy after going to school and getting my license, now trying to decide between PTA or PT or just stay in private practice massage. You got to give me more context. His beloved O2, give me more context to that. Why between all those three? And I can help answer your question or ask me a question about that. And I got you. But yeah, it's something to think about, whether to stay doing what you're doing or go to PTA or PT. Oh, we got our master class. That's what I was supposed to be talking about. But y'all just had so many questions and we was chilling. We got our master class on Sunday. So go sign up for our master class to help you guys get into PT school. Acceptancemasterclass.com. Link is in the bio. Sign up for it. You guys know what's up. Where are we at? What am I talking about? You only have 1 month? to prepare for the GRE? Well, we best get going. Study tonight. Whip out that book right now. I'm getting ready to study for my boards in October. What advice do you have? Follow whatever the prep course you're taking is teaching you. I'm not a board exam prep expert. I am a physical therapy school acceptance expert. I'm not a board exam expert, but I use the PT Hustle, and you can also use PTA Elevation if you're in PTA school. They're board exam experts, but I'd say take an assessment. If you haven't taken a practice test yet or signed up for some boards prep, I don't care how cheap or expensive it is, that's what I do. Get some help and or take an assessment to see where your weak spots are. Makes sense. I would love the complicated version. Oh, Lord. Okay. So for those of you just joining in, this question is coming from like the treatment in my videos. They were asking about the treatment in my videos and why I start with the legs based on their problem. So the complicated version is you have to screen them and see what the problem is. Like, what is the root cause of their problem is how we've been taught, right? So somebody says, my knee is swollen, I have knee pain, fix it. Some physical therapists might say, okay, let's get the swelling down. Some physical therapists might say, let's scrape the quads. Some physical therapists might say, let's get on the leg press, right? All that, I'm not going to argue about that right now. However, my question is, from what we've been taught, is what caused the swelling to be there? Why am I bringing the swelling down if I don't know what caused the swelling yet? Fair enough so far? Not too crazy, right? We're trying to find the root cause of the problem. So to do that, in some of my videos, you might see me having the patients do certain movements like reaching down, bending backwards, twisting, standing on one leg, squatting down, and I'm trying to see what muscles are not moving correctly, are not firing correctly. To keep it simple, I can get a lot more complicated than this. And based on that, I confirm my hypothesis on the table. So they're wiggling around, standing on one foot. I'm like, that might mean X, Y, and Z. So we get them on the table, and I test those muscles that I know might be contributing to their wobbliness with single leg balance. And usually that is confirmed on the table with my testing. Based on that, I turn some muscles back on to keep it simple. I don't want to go too deep on this. I turn some muscles back on, for lack of a better explanation right now. Then we get them back up and rescreen. And I'm looking for the muscle timing to improve, the pain to go down, the movement to be better and stuff like that. Then we follow that up with some exercises. So that's kind of the treatment that you're seeing in a very fast clip. To keep it simple, it can get a lot more complicated than that. I learned this last year. It's a whole thing. So follow the 180 system. He's really cool if you want to learn more about it. Is it worth the debt to go from PTA to PT? Geez, where are all these messages? I mean, these comments come from. Let me go back up. Let's start. Okay, there we go. Is it worth the debt to go from PTA to PT? I don't know, based on your situation. I have no idea. Because it's not as simple as just saying, is it worth it? I understand the question, and it's a valid question that you should ask. But we need to get a little more granular based on your situation. I don't know how much money you have in the bank. I don't know what investments you have. I don't know what family support you have. I don't know what sugar mama or sugar daddy you have, right? So I don't know if you can pay this off or not, or pay for it, right? But what you need to do is make some sort of financial spreadsheet or solve a math problem for you. If you're asking if it's worth it for you, you need to solve a math problem. Simple as that. How much are you making as a PTA? How much do you plan on making in the future? How much debt do you have? How much savings you have? What's the balance? What's your positive versus negative? What will your positive be financially versus your negative? What is it currently? What will it be? So do that for your PTA scenario. Then do that for your PT scenario. And then you'll be like, okay, staying as a PTA is worth it, or going to PT is worth it. To keep it simple, it can get a lot more complicated, of course, but that's what you need to do. You need to do a financial analysis personally for yourself to see if it's worth it for you. Because I can say, no, it's not worth it. Don't go there. Don't ever do it. The debt to income, but I don't know what PT school you're going to go to. If you go to Georgia Southern, that's $35,000 a year, and you end up making $160,000 as a PT on average throughout the rest of your career, that's a 3 to 4x return on your investment. Who am I to say that's not, you shouldn't do it? Right? I don't know. Why would I tell you not to do it if that's going to be your plan? That's not smart for me to say. But if you're going to a PT school that's $200,000 and you're already $50,000 in debt, so then you're going to be $250K in debt, plus interest $300K in debt, plus you have no savings, plus you have a family and 2 kids. You know, so that's what I would think about. That's how to answer that question for you. Because many PTs and people on the internet will fearmonger you and say, never do PT. It's not worth it. The debt to income. And I get it. They're trying to protect you, but we need to be more smart about that. That's all. What's the highest paid type of PT? Last time I checked, it was early intervention pediatric physical therapist. I think it was at $160. Thank you for sharing the live, Jay Breezy. Appreciate you. Let me check on YouTube. What's the great way to know if my writing is up to par? Check your score. You'd have to check your analytical writing score. Above a 3.5 is good. I'm a Master's of Arts student looking to change career paths to being a PT, currently completing prereqs. That's what's up. Thanks for hopping on, Elmer. Oh, thanks for hopping on. Appreciate you. Shout out to YouTube. How many observation hours do you recommend? Depends on the school you're going to. Some require 10, some require like 300. That was a couple years ago that I saw that though. So it depends on where you're going. Do you need anything higher than a normal college degree? No. Sorry. Let me clarify. You need a bachelor's degree to apply to physical therapy school. To be a physical therapist, you do need your doctor of physical therapy degree. Sorry, had to clarify that. You do need a bachelor's degree to apply to physical therapy school. To be a licensed physical therapist, you do need your doctor of physical therapy degree, and you have to go to physical therapy school. What are your thoughts on travel PT or home health full-time? I think it's fine. Yeah, go travel PT, go home health, go. It's your license. You paid for this. Go do what you got to do. I think it's fine. Any thoughts about doing any of those? No. If you have any specific questions, I can answer those. Do you have questions about home health or travel PT? I can try and answer them. But my thoughts are go do it. If that's what you want to do, go do it. Have fun. I have no bad or good thoughts about it. It's all PT at the end of the day. There's some nuances, of course, but it's PT. What would you say your most important class in your curriculum as a PT student? Anatomy. Yeah. That's the most important one. Anatomy, definitely. What is the lowest cost PT school, and is it smart to apply to a low cost school? The lowest cost one is Georgia Southern. In-state tuition is $35K last time I checked. Is it smart to apply to a low cost PT school? In my opinion, it is. Yes, of course, absolutely. Because all PT schools have to teach you the same stuff. So it's smart in my opinion. What would you... Oh, thank you for all your pre-PT content. Just graduated. Thanks for following, Kimberly. Appreciate you. Thanks for the kind words. Starting from scratch. Cool. Well, thanks for joining, Johnny. Are there any uncommon PT career pathways you'd recommend? Any uncommon PT pathways I'd recommend? If you're still on Life of Nicole, what do you mean by that? Any uncommon pathways to get into PT school Or do you mean like any uncommon career settings that people don't know about with physical therapy? Let me know. Hardest subject for me in PT school was cardiopulmonary and billing. Is the salary of PT high and great? Some of them are. Just like in any career, any profession. There's some salaries that are very high, some salaries that are very low. So yes, it can be. Is becoming a PTA worth it? It definitely could be. It's a math problem for you as well. Just like we talked about with the other experience, you got to do the math. How much is the school you're going to and how much are you going to make through the average entirety of your career? What would you suggest for board prep? The PT Hustle is what I used. So I recommend the PT Hustle. Tell them Casey said hello. Got into a PTA program. You start this fall. That's what's up. Good stuff. Have fun. What's the most difficult patient you have? The most difficult patient I have right now is probably one with dementia, but she's not that bad all the time. Oh, an MS patient, multiple sclerosis. Clinically, it's the multiple sclerosis patient. Behavior-wise, it's the dementia patient. I want to know. Okay, I think I got that. How many observation hours would you recommend? I'd recommend 50 to 100. It's really hard for me to say how many I recommend. I need to know what schools you're going to, because I can say 50, but then you apply to 5 schools who want 100, and you're going to come back at me and say, Casey said 50. Why do you say 50? He's a scam. I shouldn't have. No. I don't know what schools you're applying to. So you could apply to 5 schools that all want 25 hours. Then I'd recommend get 30 hours, right? If you're applying to schools that need 100 hours, get 110. So get a little bit over of whatever the schools are recommending or require. If I'm missing just physics 2 and Chem 2. Ooh, that's a good question. Are they separate or are they combined? It sounds like they're separate. Chris, it sounds like they're separate. If they're separate, I would count it as 4. If they're combined, I'd count it as 2. I'd follow it with the schools and triple check what they would see that as, but to be safe, I would count it as 4, because the last thing okay, they're separate. So I'd count it as 4 just to be safe. The schools could say, no, it's 2, it's fine. It's fine. But the last thing I'd want for you to happen is you apply there thinking it's 2 and it's 4. So to be on the safe side, let's say it's 4. Then just follow up with the schools and see if they have different answers. Physiotensi. I am not sure what the PCE exam is. You might have to DM me more information about that. But Final Frontier, if you're an international student to the US, I'd follow Final Frontier or facts.pt. What can students and current PTs be doing to start increasing the value provided so that insurance providers, Medicare and Medicaid, start valuing the profession more? I got you. Let me check YouTube real quick, though. What can students and current PTs be doing to start increasing the value provided so that insurance providers and Medicare start valuing the profession more? Get better results is the easy answer. So V-Grant. The short answer is get better results. And that will get the payers to respect you more. Because if you get better results quicker, you are saving them money. And when you save them money, they would want to pay, theoretically, hopefully, they'd want to give you more patients or increase the reimbursements, possibly. I don't know if they actually will. So just follow me. Follow me, though. Just follow me. Theoretically, if you're getting better results faster, you are saving the insurance payers, the government, money. So in theory, they could pay you a little bit more or show that they value you more by increasing the reimbursement rates to get them better again faster. So in theory, again, this might not play out because we know how people want to save money and not pay, right? So in theory, this is how it would work. Oh, you got Miss Smith better in 5 visits instead of 25 visits. You saved us $1 million. So in that case, we will pay you $200 per visit instead of $100 per visit. Because you saved us $1 million and you got Miss Smith better in 5 visits versus 25, we will start paying you $200 to keep that up versus us paying you $100 per visit like we did before. That's my thought process. Now, would they actually do that? I don't know. Yeah. They could just be like, no, F that. We're still going to be decreasing it, or we're not going to pay you more. Just keep getting them better and save us some more money. They could do that. So in that case, I don't know what to do. In that case, we just don't accept Medicare or Medicaid as much as possible. That's the only solution I see. So yeah. Yeah. You don't want to apply thinking it's 2. Tips for studying in college. Active recall techniques. 100%. Best advice for asking a PT for a letter of recommendation. The best advice, I would put yourself in their shoes. Where are you at? Okay, best advice for getting a letter of recommendation, I would put yourself in their shoes. So let's go to a la land of you being a physical therapist today. You are me. You're a physical therapist. You've been a PT for 5 years. Or you're Joseph, right? Let's say we're Joseph. Joseph, for those of you who don't know, is the co-founder of Pre-PT Grind. You see him at the masterclass. He does the masterclass. Sign up for the masterclass, acceptancemasterclass.com, to learn how to get into PT school. It's next Sunday. It's already 90% full. So, hit the link in bio. Go sign up. So he'll be doing that masterclass, and we're going to be breaking down all this PT school stuff so you can get in like that. But to answer your question, let's go to a la land. You are Joseph. You are a physical therapist. You have 2 kids and a wife, and you just moved. And this pre-PT comes along and says, hey, with your 2 kids, your PT job, your pre-PT grind, your Cash and Clash University, and your wife, can you take some time out of your day to write me a letter of recommendation? You are that physical therapist. Y'all with me? You're that physical therapist. What would you be thinking? Oh, another thing I have to do. That's what they're thinking. Another thing I have to do. Because think of it as yourselves right now. Let's just say a middle school person came up to you saying, can you write me a letter of recommendation to get into your high school? I'm sure you would be flattered. And I'm sure you'd say yes. But at the same time, you'd be like, dang, I got this pre-PT stuff to do. I got my classes. I got my job. I got my boyfriend. I got my girlfriend. I got my whatever. I got to start preparing for applications. And you want me to write your letter? Another thing to do, right? So to answer your question, how to get a letter of recommendation is to make it as easy for them as possible. As easy for them as possible. Butter them up, give them compliments, and tell them why you're choosing them out of all the PTs in the world, and make it easy for them. Here are the points that I would like you to talk about. Here's a template that you can follow. Here's a deadline that I would like it back from. Here's what the school is asking for. Here's what you can put in the letter possibly. It doesn't need to be long. Make it as easy for them as possible. And I'll keep it at that so I can get to some more questions. But that's what I would do. You got to put yourself in their shoes. And once you do that, then you're like, oh, okay, I get it. This is how I want to ask them. Just wondering if chiropractors who are offering more services that can be charged, like Xrays, if that can increase the value. So if you're, I understand what you're saying. So from what I understand, I don't know how many states anymore, but North Dakota and some other states, PTs can order X-rays there now. Somebody might have to help me with this. Where else can PTs order X-rays legally, technically? So yes, that would be another service we could charge for. But now it gets into the nuance of what is value to the patient and what is value to the insurance company. Are X-rays valuable to the insurance company? Not really, because they have to pay for it. Are X-rays valuable to the patient? Maybe, if you explain what you saw in the X-ray, right? But now we get into what is value. But I understand what you're saying. It's something else we could bill for. I understand what you're saying. You're saying to increase the value for my pockets, for your pockets, right? I get it. Maybe it could, yeah, it'll be something else to bill for. So yeah. Will this live be on YouTube? Yes, the live is currently on YouTube. So you can hop over to YouTube and join us there too. Let me check YouTube. What's going on here? YouTube questions. Can outpatient be worth it? I live in SoCal. All in-state schools are 100K plus and average salary is 80K gross for a new therapist. Can outpatient be worth it? Based on those numbers, it's very close. It's very close. It's very close. The margins are slim. It's a negative, it's slightly negative return on investment, but it depends like what other settings you're going to be in. And like, are you going to negotiate that salary, right? And how quickly can you get to 100K plus? And what's your undergrad debt as well? And do you have another source of income too? So if we're strictly going off of 80K to 100K and you have undergrad student loans, then it looks like financially, mathematically, it won't be worth it. It will be a negative return on investment, especially for the first few years until you get to that 100K plus. It depends on your other expenses too, but in Cali, it's going to be tough. It looks like it's going to be tough for that example. All right. So everybody don't go freak out. Oh, it's not worth it. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Just come on, just chill out. For this example that Christian is talking about, the margins are very slim for outpatient PT if you're going to a school and you're paying 100K plus. So just keep that in mind. Margins are very slim for me to say it's worth it. Go for it. However, there are other options. You don't have to go to school in Cali, or you can save up money, right? Or you can have a plan to make more money after school or have other streams of income and blah, 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 blah. But there are options, but that's my answer for that. Been a PT for 1 year. Oh, snap, Twitter. What's up, Twitter? Oh, snap. Brock, welcome in from Twitter. That's what's up. We got Twitter on here. I haven't got a Twitter comment yet since I've been doing these live streams. So what's up, Twitter? X, sorry, Elon Musk, X. I've been a PT for 1 year, taking on a student as a CI within the next year. What mentoring advice would you give for someone like me who is still learning as a new grad? Yeah. So I had about 7 or 8 students from 2021 to 2023. And it's fun. Just have fun. Please have fun. But what I'd say is that the students are scared. If you think you're scared, oh my gosh, I'm a new grad too. I'm still learning. I don't know what the student's going to want. What if they ask me a question? They don't care. Just like the patients don't care that you're a new grad, the students don't care. They're just as scared. You hear the questions. They don't know what they're doing either. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody. So just be confident, answer their questions, guide them. And the best way at least in my experience, the best way that I've, I guess, taught the students is talked about my own failures. And like I showed them, like I didn't hide any failures. Like, or hide any mess ups from them. I'm like, it's okay, like to mess up. You just saw me mess up 2 seconds ago. I forgot to turn on the timer. It's okay, right? You just saw me with Miss Jones. She's crying as she left. She was cursing me out as she left because her knee hurt. It's okay, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing I'd say is have them be as independent as possible. That's just my opinion. So you don't have to be all up on them. You don't have to be checking their measurements right next to them. If they want you to be, sure. If they really want you there, sure. Within the first few days or week or whatever. But like, let them be. Then they will come to you. when they're messing up. They'll come to you when they have questions. They'll come to you. They will come to you. Don't worry about that. So that's what I'd say. That's what helped me the most, was show them my failures and let them be independent, because you'll only be with them for 4 to 8 weeks to 10 weeks to 16 weeks, right? After that, they're their own PT or PTA. So they have to be prepared for that. So good question though. Shout out to Twitter. Good question, Brock. Doesn't matter if you take prereqs at a community college. No. You can take prereqs at a community college. That's fine. That is fine. Trying to study for the GRE soon. How did you study for it? I took a practice exam. I focused on my weaknesses, and I did flashcards, and I used the Kaplan book. But that was 11 years ago. But that's what I did. So is task analysis your foundation to build into more specific tests that are your hypothesis? I assume you're talking about the 180 system. Task analysis, your foundation to build into more specific tests that are your hypothesis. If you're talking about clinically, then yes. Task analysis. Maybe not. Jake, let me know what you're talking about. It sounds right, but let me know if you're still on, Jake. Let me know. Are you a travel PT? I see you do. I am not a travel PT. I'm PRN. I'm just PRN, which is as needed. It means as needed. So as they need me and as I'm available, I help out. Thank you for sharing the live stream, Taisha. Does the ranking matter? No, it does not. Absolutely not. Ranking does not matter. What are your study habits? Oh Lord, my boards prep study habits. Jesus. What did I do? I just followed my board prep course, my coaching program. Honestly, I took the PT Hustle and I just followed that. So I don't remember the exact study methods. I studied for 9 months though. So I highly recommend taking a boards prep coaching course or self-study course, something, because that's what I did, because I did not know what I was doing. I was building pre-PT grind while I was studying for the board. So if I didn't do that, I would not be on a live stream with you guys right now. So yeah, I hope your day went well. I appreciate that, Luis. Hope your day went well as well. Can studying kinesiology help become a PT? Yes. Doing kinesiology is fine. It's just fine. Just fine. What are the schooling differences between being a PT and chiropractor? I don't know the chiropractic school stuff. Honestly, I forgot. I don't know. I want to say chiro school is I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. 2 to 4 years, somewhere in there. But I will tell you this, Colton, I will tell you this because I thought about chiro for a quick second. My decision to do PT was because, from my knowledge, and I could be wrong, at the time, this was again 2013, 14-ish, 12, 13, 14. I saw that physical therapists could and can do manipulations, right? And that's what chiros mainly did and do. Of course, they do other stuff. Don't fight me on this. I already know. Let's not have a fight. I know they do more than that. But from what I saw, I could do what the chiros were doing, but also I had the job security that physical therapy provided. So I could work in a hospital. I can work in an outpatient clinic. I could work in a school for pediatrics. I can work on a sports team. I can do consulting. I can do all this stuff. And also do what the chiros were doing, which was manipulations. That's why I chose PT over chiro. Again, that was my, how old was I? 19, 20-year-old self with the limited knowledge I had. So take that as you wish. Will me being a tech right now help me at all after college? Not really. It'll help your bank account, which is great, which you need, but it's not gonna look impressive. Okay, let's see where we at here. Just graduated from PT school. Cool. Have fun, celebrate. Is UIndy a good PT school? I think so. Can studying... Oh, shoot. Okay, we're good. Uncommon career settings. So consulting for durable medical equipment is an uncommon PT career setting or option. Electrophysiology is not very common. Any business startups is not very common, from PT practice to software to hardware is not very common. Pelvic health is becoming more common, but pelvic health for males especially is not very common. And those are the things that come to mind right now. Good question, though. The question was, what are some uncommon PT settings? Best tips for memorizing lumbosacral plexus muscle segments. Jesus, help me. Here's what I will say. Here's how I teach how to study. You need to create a story or a rhyme or a song or a mnemonic around that. To keep it simple, the more emotions you put into what you're learning, the easier it is to recall and retrieve that information as test time comes. So for example, instead of drilling into your head and trying to memorize all that stuff in a traditional manner, you can make a story around the lumbosacral plexus muscle segments. L1. In a far, far land away, there was a kingdom called the L1 lumbosacral segment. And in the kingdom of the L1 lumbosacral segment, they had the land of, what's L1? The hip flexors. I don't know. What's L1? I don't know. I forgot. I don't know. But you get the idea. So now when you're taking the test, as silly as that may sound, right? You're not going to forget it now. You might even use it and be like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, the kingdom of L1. It sounds dumb as F, but you're going to remember it because it sounds dumb. And now instead of trying to be like, okay, L1, glutes, hip flexors, iliopsoas, now you're remembering the story. And now you can answer those questions a lot easier. So that's how I teach people to learn. And that's how I recommend you do it. Do you think getting a DPT from a larger school is more beneficial? No, it doesn't matter. Get your PT degree with as low cost as possible. It doesn't matter how big, how small, top rank, low rank, does not matter. Get your degree, get your license, and start making money. Makes sense. You are welcome. Have you done Andrew's manual manipulation program that is offered? Andrew's. Oh, my school. I was like, are you talking about my school? I was like, who's Andrew? If you're talking about my school, I did not do it. You're talking about their third year / postdoc. So like their NIOPS, right? No, I did not. Okay, yeah, you're talking about my school. No, I did not do it. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's great, but I did not do it. It's like, who is Andrew? Scale of 1 to 10, how hard is PT school? 15. Any other PT students out there want to chime in? How hard is PT school? Scale of 1 to 10. Let Troy know what you think. Old people. Thoughts on occupational therapy? I think it's fine. Just fine. Thanks for sharing the live. Mike, is 45 too old for physical therapy? No, it is not. It is not. Favorite bone? I got to think about that. The olecranon. Oh, that's not a bone. That is a protuberance. My favorite bone. I don't know. I got to think about that. What is your favorite bone? I don't know. Maybe the great toe, the DIP. Is the big toe? No, maybe it's the PIP. Proximal interphalange. Does the great toe have a DIP? Y'all let me know. I don't know. I forgot. The great toe is very underrated. The big toe is very underrated. So whatever that is, y'all help me with that. And the thumb. Oh, but the thumb is not really a bone. Good question, though. Never got that question. Any recommendations for personal statements? You have to answer the prompts specifically as to what they're asking. And they're usually asking, why do you want to be a physical therapist? So you need to answer why you want to be a physical therapist. If you have more specific questions on that, let me know. Thoughts on the NPTE having case-based questions? Oh, thoughts on the NPTE adding case-based questions? I have no problems with it because in real life, that's what you're getting. You're getting a case-based question. They're not going to say, name the bony protuberance where the pec major attaches. No, that's not how this works. So I have no problem with the NPTE asking case-based questions because that's what you're getting in real life. Thoughts on athletic trainers? I think they're fine. I think they're great. Bachelor's in exercise science, want to become a PT in the Air Force. Can you do that in the Air Force? Oh, you can only do it in the Air Force if you do the Army Baylor program, from what I understand. But that has 25 seats and it's very hard to get into. So that's how you can do it in the Air Force. The other way is to become a DPT first, then join the Air Force. So you can either join the military first and try to get into Army Baylor, but it's very hard to do so. Or you can become a PT first, then join the Air Force, which is easier. First ever quiz in PT school next week. Oh, have fun. Entry level per hour salary for a PT. It depends. It depends. Entry level hourly. Wait, what was it? Entry level per hour salary. It can range from $40 an hour to $75 an hour. If you're a travel PT, it can be $17 an hour, but your stipend is a lot more, but it's untaxed. So it kind of depends. How did you feel after getting rejected or waitlisted the first round? Horrible. Absolutely horrible. It was the worst, one of the worst, definitely not the worst thing I've been through in my life, but not a great experience at all. I felt horrible. But it led me to answer your question 10 years later, Shayla. So was it really that bad? In the moment, it was horrible. But it led me here to you. So it wasn't that bad, was it? 12 people on YouTube. Where'd y'all come from? What's up, YouTube? Oh, Instagram. What's up? I've been neglecting them. Okay, we're good on Instagram. Will being a PT tech help after college? No, not really. I'm in kinesiology. How long would it take me in grad school? Physical therapy school is 2 to 3 years, so it would take you 2 to 3 years depending on your program. How does PTCAS work and calculate the math and science GPA? How does PTCAS work? So PTCAS is a software system to help you apply to multiple schools with the same software. How does it calculate math and science GPA? It just takes all of your grades for math and science and averages them all together. Where are we at? Where are we at? For you to go into PT, is it best for you to study exercise science or pre-med? Exercise science. How many hours do you need to get into PT school? It depends on the school. Some schools require 10, some schools require 100, 200, 300. Does being a physical therapist pay well? I believe so. Everybody says no, but compared to a lot of other jobs, I think it pays well, especially if your debt is low or you have no debt at all. It pays very well. It could pay better, and you can open your own private practice or make a side income and pay yourself better. But I think it paid. What is going on? Why does TikTok do this? Um, there we go. But yeah, I think it pays decent. It's everybody complains, but I think it pays decent. Have you ever had a patient with frozen shoulder? I have, many times, many times. Do you think it's worth it going out of state for PT school? I don't know what those costs are going to be. What's the cost of going to NYU from Cali? Can I still get into PT school with a 2.7? What kind of GPA is that? Is my first question. 2.7 GPA will be difficult. Technically, it can. 2.75, I know that hits most of the minimums. 2.7, I don't think I've seen a school whose minimum is a 2.7. Pretty sure the lowest I've seen is a 2.75 minimum. You can start with a 2.7, increase your GPA over time, and get into PT school. You can have a positive grade trend, but applying today with a 2.7, depending on what GPA that is not impossible, but is not very likely. My concern is cost of living, networking opportunities coming back to Cali. Those are fair questions. When is the best time to start applying to PT school? I don't know your situation, but when you have most of your requirements done, to keep it simple. Usually people apply to PT school the summer before their senior year of college. So I hope that helps. Good places to look for scholarships. 3 places or 2 places. Institutional scholarships, which is your school. So start with your school. Other place is non-institutional scholarships, which is outside of your school. So religious organizations, the state, federal government, municipalities, corporations, your parents' jobs. What else am I thinking? Yeah, that's all that comes to mind right now, after being on TikTok for an hour and working all day. But that's where I'd start. Look to your school first, then look to outside organizations. Okay. So Jason, now you just have to, if it's a 10K difference, it's just going to be what's your cost of living. Like, are you going to stay with your parents in Cali? Or are you going to be paying your own rent in NYU? And how much are you going to be paying in rent per year? 30K, 40K a year? Like, what's the total rent per year in NYU and in New York, right? So it's going to be, I think the biggest difference is going to be cost of living for you. Then if you want to go back home to work in Cali, I mean, unless like your girlfriend or something is in NYU or something serious like that, I'd say stay in Cali. My professor said the other day newer PTs are quitting only a few years. Is this true? I'm sure some are. But people, okay, here's the thing. People aren't quitting any and all professions after just a few years. People are quitting Amazon after 2 days of working there. Okay, people still work at Amazon. PTs are quitting after a few years. Okay, so well, that's their problem. Maybe they went to a super expensive PT school. Maybe they didn't pick the right setting. Maybe their manager isn't good. Maybe they just want a different career. Maybe their life situation changed. Maybe they don't know how to handle patients the best. Maybe they picked a bad job. Maybe they just went to a different setting, but it was marked down or the record showed that they quit the PT profession. I don't know. But I don't want that to scare you guys, because that doesn't have to be you if you're smart about this career decision. Because that same thing can be said about physicians. Okay, your professor said, oh, PTs are quitting after a few years. Okay, but what about physicians? What about dentists? What about truck drivers? What about nurses? Okay, you're going to quit PT and go be a nurse? Nurses are quitting after 6 months. Like, professor, what are we saying here? Don't be scaring my people. They're scaring you for what reason? They're not telling you the whole story. They're just saying stuff. Okay, let's see where we at. Thoughts on decreasing reimbursement? My thoughts are they've been decreasing since before we've been born. So I don't really know what else to say. They've been decreasing. I haven't seen. Okay. Um, I'll try and keep this simple. Technically, I guess they could be decreasing. However, how it works for Medicare and government services is that, from what I know from the research I've done, do your own research, is that there is a pool of money for healthcare services, and the money is moved around different healthcare services on a whim based on how people feel and who's lobbying for what. So the money hasn't gone anywhere outside of healthcare. It's not magically disappeared. It just moved somewhere else. I'll keep it simple. I can go into more details. But to give you just some more information on that, usually inside of physical therapy, the money hasn't gone anywhere, kind of. It's moved around different billing codes. So, for example, let's just say in the last 5 years, Medicare reimbursement for therapeutic exercise has decreased by 15%. Oh my gosh, the reimbursement rates are declining. Ah. But what they don't tell you is that manual therapy has stayed the same for reimbursement. Neuromuscular re-education has increased by 10%, 20%, or whatever. So what does physical therapy businesses do? Say bill more neuromuscular re-education, bill less therapeutic exercise. But they don't tell y'all that. They say the reimbursement rate is declining. Everybody. Again, they're not giving you the full picture. But that's what I'm here for. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the declining reimbursement rates. The cheapest accredited program is the best program as long as it's accredited. Yep, perfect. Where are we at? Where are we at? My professor, 3.2 GPA, you have good chances. Schools in Texas that don't offer the GRE, I don't know. None come to mind right now. I'd have to look in my database or the PTCast database, but none come to mind right now. I don't know right off the top. As your time as a PT student, did you ever have to do research thesis type of work? Yes. We were required to do a doctoral thesis. It was a group project, though. So it was just a fancy group project. That's all. Okay, yeah. So you're going to NYU to embrace the culture. Embrace the culture for how much money? That's my question. You can go to NY, you can go to New York City every break that you have if you go to a cheaper school in California. That's my opinion. So let's just say you're going to save 30 or 40 grand by staying home in Cali and living with your parents during PT school. Then go take a trip to New York 3 times a year. I don't know. You'll be just fine. Did I work while in PT school? How did you manage the workload and school load? Yes, I worked multiple jobs just like I do now. And all my jobs revolved around PT school. So what you see now is pre-PT grind was built while I was in physical therapy school as a younger lad. So yes, I did work in PT school. How did I balance it? Everything revolved around physical therapy school. So if I had a test, if I had 3 tests the next week, well, I didn't do as much pre-PT grind stuff, or I didn't drive Uber as much, right? All that stuff. Do you think Reddit is toxic to go through for PT school? Probably. I'm not on Reddit like that. I heard we've been called scams on Reddit, though. Which that means, I guess, we made it. Study tips. Learn how you best learn and use active recall techniques. Active recall techniques, 100%. Got into University of Pacific, right? UOP is University of Pacific, right? Instagram, y'all got any questions? Did I miss y'all? Okay, we're good. Instagram, we good. We good. We good. What's the most important thing in physical therapy? Anatomy, critical thinking, and like empathy, sympathy, customer service type stuff. So anatomy first, because you got to know what you're doing. Critical thinking, because you have to think about what you're doing. Then empathy or sympathy, whatever it is, because you're dealing with a human being. Just like you guys, when you come to me with your questions about pre-PT stuff, right? When we just talked about Cali to New York, right? I have to take into consideration it's not just a financial decision. It's like you have your life and your culture and your upbringing and your parents and what you want to experience in life and your age, and all this stuff goes into your question about this big decision of going to PT school in Cali or New York, right? You have a lot of factors. If you come to me saying, I have a 2.7 GPA, there's a lot of factors that go into that 2.7 GPA for me to get the best rehab for your application, right? Which is not really talked about a lot. It just comes over time. So the same thing with physical therapy. The most important thing after critical thinking and anatomy is like you're dealing with humans, and you have to take that into consideration. You can't just be like, oh, your knee has to hit 120 degrees of flexion by next week, or the boogeyman's gonna come. Like it's not that black and white. It's not a textbook. They're a person. So yeah. What to do to stand out in your application. You just finished your second year of undergrad. To stand out in your application, you should come to the acceptance masterclass on Sunday, May 19th, and we'll talk more about that in detail. It'll be for about 60 to 90 minutes, and we'll break that all down for you. But to stand out, to keep it simple, I'll give you one tip out of many. You need to go through your obstacles, and that's what many people don't do. They're like, what else can I do to stand out? Well, what's your weakest point? Is it your GPA, your GRE? You don't know how to talk to people. You haven't got your observation hours yet. You don't know what the PT career is. What is your weak point? Go through that obstacle and fix your weak point. And that'll help you stand out more than trying to cover up stuff. Group project, yeah, it wasn't too bad. Currently debating on taking the GRE. 3 of the schools I'm planning to apply to require it. Then it looks like you gotta take it, Paige. Go through your obstacles. That's a perfect example. Perfect example. Go through your obstacles, Paige. Go through it. You got this. Just like I tell a patient, do those step-ups. You got 30 step-ups. You can do this. I believe in you. And they're like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You can do it. I know you're strong. Same thing for you, Paige. It sounds like for the schools you really want to go to, you got to take the GRE. So you got it. You can take A&P at a community college. That's fine. Occupational therapist, NYC food blog. Okay, cool. Thanks for joining. OT in the house. What's up? Biggest regret from being a DPT student plus being an active DPT. Are you asking what are my biggest regrets as a PT student and an active PT? Biggest regrets as a student was not getting in the first time, but I already overcame that because now I'm on a fancy live stream with you on 5 or 6 different platforms. And if I didn't get rejected, I would not be able to talk to y'all like this. So is it really a regret? Biggest regret as a PT? I don't know. I don't really have any big regrets as a PT. I'm kind of proud of myself a little bit. I think I did a lot of things right. I'm happy with my career choice. Biggest regret as a PT? I don't know. I don't really have regrets. That's a good question though. I don't have any regrets as a PT that I can think of right now. Yeah, I don't have any right now. It's a good question though. I'll have to think about it. Most difficult class or subject was cardiopulmonary and billing. Start PT school in August and your videos helped a ton. Good stuff, Matt. Have fun in PT school. DPT school year round? It is year round. It is year round. I meant not require. Oh, they don't require the GRE. Then I guess you don't have to take it, Paige. Woo! Then I guess you don't have to take it. So if they don't require it, and those are the only schools you're going to apply to, that's the thing though, Paige. If those are the only schools you will ever apply to in the rest of your life ever, then you don't have to take it. However, the last thing I want to happen, and anybody else in this situation, is that you say, I'm only going to apply to these 3 schools that don't require the GRE, right? Then 6 months later, you're like, ooh, I really like this school, but they require the GRE, but their deadline is in 2 weeks. SOL, right? That's the only thing. Casey, you get hooded on Wednesday. Well, celebrate. How are you celebrating, Erica? Let us know. How are you going to celebrate? How are you going to celebrate? Is DPT school worth the money? I don't know if it is worth the money for you because I don't know how much money you have. I don't know the cost of the school you're going to, and I don't know how much you are going to potentially make over the average of your career. But it can be worth it for you, or it cannot be worth it. I don't know. Thoughts on the Casper test? The Casper test is like basically saying, how much harm will you do to the patient? The Casper test is trying to engage your emotional intelligence to say, will you do the least amount of harm in any particular situation? That is what the Casper test is asking, to keep it simple. They're asking all these different scenarios and questions to see, will you do the least amount of harm? That's the Casper test. Instagram, we still okay? Did I miss any questions on Instagram? We good. Just, is there a way to get a head start on material? Unless the PT school gives you a syllabus as to what they want you to study in advance, no, in my opinion, there's no way to get a head start. The best way to get a head start is to learn how you best learn or get our study code so you can learn how to best learn. Accepted in a PT school, is there anything I can do to better prepare? Same thing for you, user 056. Unless the PT school you got accepted to says, hey, these are the 7 things I would like you to prepare for, then there's nothing you can really do to prepare. The best thing I would do is get our study code or learn how you best learn so that when the time comes to grasp that information, you have the tools to learn that information as quickly and efficiently as possible. Popping bottles. Okay. Well, have fun. When is the party? Is it tonight? It can't be tonight. Is it tomorrow? Next weekend? When are these bottles popping? And what kind of bottles are you popping? I like Martinelli's. I do not like alcohol. Gives me a headache. I have a 0 tolerance. I just can't. I can't. Every time. It's the same story. I just have a huge headache. And I regret it every time. It could be 4 sips. Absolutely not. But if you're popping Martinelli's or some Capri Sun or some bubble tea, then I will invite myself. Highest paying specialty of PT, electrophysiology, early intervention pediatrics, travel PT, some home health, private practice, pelvic health, depending on how much you're charging. Best prep in the summer before starting PT school is our study code. So if you are interested in preparing before PT school, DM me study code, and I will send you the link to get our study code. Do you have any suggestions on where I can find scenario-based questions as practice? I think the Casper website, right? The Casper website has some scenario-based questions, unless they changed it. You talking about the Casper test? Potato Jane, you talking about the Casper test? I've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. That's great. My goal is to be working with athletes. What can you do now? You need to start knowing some athletes or some coaches or some athletic directors. So what you need to be doing now is knowing somebody. That's what you got to be doing now. Thanks for the input. You're welcome. Don't want to wear the funny hat. Girl, you better wear that hat. So excited for our class, May 19th. Yeah. Acceptance masterclass, May 19th. Oh my gosh. I had this. Nobody told me I had the wrong date. Y'all just letting me talk with the wrong date on here. Y'all ain't looking out for me at all. Come on, guys. Or that means y'all just weren't even paying attention to this banner. Probably that part. Not May 15th, May 19th. Lord Jesus, y'all got me slacking. May 19th, Sunday, May 19th. Acceptance Masterclass. just sign up for it. It'll help you get into PT school. Because there's only about 5 weeks left and we're already 90% full. So if you want to get a leg up on your competition, I highly suggest you go to this masterclass so you can learn all our secrets and cheat codes that we've learned throughout our 8+ years of being acceptance coaches on how to get into PT school. So if you like this live stream, you'll love the acceptance masterclass on May 19th, 2 p.m. Eastern time, acceptancemasterclass.com. Link is in the bio to sign up, and we will see you there, and we'll have some fun. So we'll see you there. Lucid dreams. Opinions on necessity of PTAs and where they should be needed most. Necessity of PTAs, they are necessary. Where are they needed most? Wherever the patients need to be seen. If you let me know more details on that question. What do you mean by that? I think PTAs are needed. Where they should be needed the most is wherever the patients need to be seen. It's like a supply and demand question. So if it's the school setting, schools. If it's outpatient, it's outpatient. If it's pediatrics, it's pediatrics. If it's right, so supply and demand question. What am I doing now? How much should I expect to make on average? You can make anywhere between like 75 and 100 and some change, depending on a bunch of factors. So somewhere in there, 75 to 100K. Best ways to network as a first-year PT student. Network with other PTs. You can start with your professors, but I would say start on social media since you're on social media already. Start listening to some podcasts, join some Facebook groups, search on TikTok and Instagram, whatever specialties you're interested in. Y'all know how to work the internet. It's social media, so be social on social media. You'll be just fine. Nico, you'll be great. So start with online communities. Then some are free, some are paid. Join whichever ones you want to join. And that can be your gateway to start meeting people in person as well. But I would start with online communities and pages and stuff like that. Um, 11th grade, how long does the process take to be a PT? So you do 4 years in college or 3. Then you do 2 to 3 years in PT school. So 6 to 7 years after high school. Taking a gap year. You feel like taking a gap year before applying to PT school. Okay, take a gap year. Go and take a gap year. There's nothing wrong with that. Best way to get a letter of recommendation. You need to put yourself in their shoes and you need to tell them why you're choosing them. Why are you choosing them out of anybody else? And make it easy for them. Make it easy for them to write your letter. What if you're a PT for athletes / the big leagues? What if you're a PT for athletes / the big leagues? What if? Well, let me know what you mean. What if what? What if you're an athlete? What if you're a PT for athletes or pros? What if you are? I don't know. Let me know. What do you mean? Get fit with Max. Let me know. I got you. Just let me know. Give me some more details with that, and I got you. Best way to make passive income in PT school. Best way is to do something that you are already good at or something that you already know how to do. So, for example, if you're already into the stock market, the best way for you to make extra income is trading stocks or trading crypto. If you are a great tutor, you're already really good at math. The best way to make passive income is not really passive, but extra income is being a tutor, right? So if you want to learn more money stuff, more side hustle stuff, follow Cash in Class University on Instagram. I'll be posting more money stuff over there. And we have a class on June 9th about all the money stuff too. So sign up for that class. The link is already on the link in bio. So yeah. If you were in my biggest misconception about being a PT student. Biggest misconception about being a PT student. That you don't have time for anything, probably, and that you can't work in school. kind of one and the same. The biggest misconception is that you don't have time for anything and you can't work in school. But you do have time for what you want to make time for, and you do have time to work in school. You have less time as a working professional, and you have more time as a PT student. I can tell you that. Income. So income for PTs in the big leagues. From what I know, it's about the same, and that shocks a lot of people because a lot of people think you're getting paid, I don't know, whatever they think, a lot more. But if you're a staff PT for a sports team, from what I heard, it's about the same range. Now, if you're an athletic director for like the Denver Broncos or the New Orleans Pelicans, right, then it's probably more than that. It's probably 150, 200, 210, depending on the team, right? But if you're a staff PT, athletic trainer for a big sports team, from what I know, it's about the same range, 75 to 100K. Don't quote me on that because I've never been, hey, please follow up with someone else. Because I'm not entirely sure, but that's what I've heard. Is it Is it difficult to run an online business in PT school? Or would you recommend after school? It's difficult. I would not wait though. Hell no. Hell no. I would not wait. I would not wait. It's difficult, but so what? Everything is difficult. So difficult. So don't let difficult stop you. Absolutely not. But hell no, I'm not waiting. I would not wait. I would not wait. Because if I waited until I was done in PT school, I probably wouldn't be on a live stream with you helping you guys. Because I would have then waited 2 to 3 years to start pre-PT grind versus starting 2 to 3 years earlier. Absolutely not. I would not wait. You heard some PTs in the pros were making $500,000. Well, they could be. Hey, if they are, more power to them. But I do not know. I do not know. Good question though. Let me know when you find out. Where are we at here? 170K in debt. No, what is money anyways, Erica? What is money? The US government is $39 trillion in debt, $34 trillion in debt. Let's find out. USA debt clock. National debt clock. The US government is $34.7 trillion in debt. So, what is money anyways? They're just printing it anyways. I lost your first question. Be able to work as a part-time PT. So you're asking, can you work as a part-time PTA during PT school? Yeah, you can. When you have time off, yeah. Sure, you can. Why not? How does interest work? Mine keeps going up. Interest on your loans? Interest on your loans, Saul? Are these undergrad loans or PT school loans? If they're student loans, the interest percent should not keep going up. If you're not paying your loans, the principal of your loan amount will keep going up. I assume that's what you're talking about. So your PT loans, yes, because they are accruing interest, and based on how you're paying them and how much you're paying per month, the loan amount could be always going up because you're usually just paying the interest or part of the interest and not the principal or something like that. So if you're not paying down, if you're paying just the interest, then you're still accruing the interest every month. It's effed up, I know. Don't get me started. That's what our Cash and Clash University channel is going to be all about. What settings do I work in? I work in people's homes, private practice, outpatient, and consulting. And I have an online business. What types of patient cases do you get most intrigued about? Vertigo gets me most intrigued. And I like cervical problems. So vertigo and cervical problems. I just got accepted to PTA school. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. All right. Ask me any last questions. I've been up since 7 on a Saturday. So I'm going to get some sleep. I got to be up early tomorrow. Appreciate the value you provide. About to finish my bachelor's on the PT track. Going all in on your fitness business. Hey, go for it. Go for it. Whichever you decide, go for it 100%. Appreciate you hopping on. Get fit with Max. Instagram, we okay? Yeah, we good. Shoulder pain for the past year. Go to 180system.com. Like Google the 180 system and try and find a 180 provider in your area. If you can't find it, you can fly to Chicago and I can help you out. But try and find a 180 provider since you tried traditional PT and massage already. All right, y'all. I am out. See y'all soon. Acceptancemasterclass.com, May 19th. Go sign up. See ya. See ya. See ya.